the podcast where we explore the world of English education. I'm Syamil as first host, and joining me are my fellow hosts.
My name is Nugroho as the second host.
And my name is Muzakky as third host.
So everyone, in this episode, we will dive into ESP within the context of an English classroom, in its characteristic, content, and application in learning.
Woo! And we also have four special guests joining us today, so you can introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hello everyone, I'm Rifky. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you for the Boy Podcast.
Okay,
Boys with S.
Boys,
Yes.
yeah.
Welcome.
Hello guys, my name is Ismail, and first of all, thanks to Tugas for inviting me to discuss about yes.
Thank you for the Boy Podcast to invite me in this new today. My name is Ramadhan as the third guest.
My name is Fauzan Mubarak. Thank you for the Boy Podcast. I am happy to be here.
Are you sure that
Wow.
you
Fauzan Mubarak, like today, Ramadan, like Ramadan Special episode. Ramadan Mubarak, Fauzan Mubarak. It's it. Okay. Thank you guys. Happy to be here and happy to see you all. Today we're talking about ESP, of course. And in the first segment, we'll ask to the first guest, Mr. Rifky. Let's start with the basic. What exactly is ESP?
Well, your question is very interesting. So, ESP, or English for Specific Purpose, is a branch of language teaching that focus on specific needs of learners.
Okay, so simple answer, right?
But Mr. Rifky, what makes ESP different from general English learning?
So Carter says, you know Carter?
No.
Yeah. Right.
Who's that?
Carter is he is a writer in 1989.
Oh, right.
She's old.
She's
Right.
old.
He says identify three main characteristics of authentic material. So purpose, related, orienting, and last is self-directed learning.
Interesting. You mentioned the three main characteristics. I want to ask, could you explain these three main characteristics?
First is authentic materials. That is refers to real world results from other fields. And if purpose-related orientations mean preparing learner for real life professional situation. So the last self-directed learning that encourages students to take control of their learning process.
Okay. So very good.
Thank you.
Okay, very clear explanation from Mr. Rifky, and we'll move to second segment, and I will ask to Mr. Akram. So let's focus on authentic materials. Mr. Akram, as an ESP instructor, how do you use authentic materials in your classroom?
I always incorporate real world items. For example, is legal document or engineering blueprint is for reference for student to how to work in the future.
Wow, very simple answer.
Now I'm gonna move to Mr. Faiz. Is there a specific way to choose this material?
Absolutely. The materials match with the learner level and relevant to their field. Some podcasts maybe simplified to make them easier to learn, and remain unmodified, so it can be challenging for advanced learning.
Okay.
So very good answer. And I want to ask the Mr. Fauzan. Okay, Mr. Fauzan, As an ESP student, how do your authentic materials help you?
They make me more practicing the taking business English. So practicing with real report and email has improved my confidence in using English professionally.
Okay.
Very good answer. Next, third segment. Now let's move on to purpose-related orientation. Mr. Rifky, how does ESP prepare students for their work tasks?
Nice question. So for example, in business, ESP course student practice writing proposal and presentation and learn negotiating contract. Yes.
That sounds very practical. Mr. Akram, do you use simulation in your teaching?
Yes, in one of my theory class, I use test of hotel check-in. The student play role play of waste and exercise is for the job situation.
Oh, this is nice practical. Okay, we're gonna move to Mr. Fauzan. Mr. Fauzan, have you applied what you learned from ESP in real life?
Yes, in my business English course, we had to create and present a brand marketing strategy. Later, I used the sales skill to work it.
Okay, very clear. You know, that's good and good answer.
Yes. Always good answer from Mr. Fauzan. Oh, you know. Okay, let's move to the fourth segment. Now let's talk about self-directed learning. Mr. Rifky again and again.
The one and only.
Yeah. What does this mean? ESP.
Oh, interesting question. So it means shifting students from passive learner to user of the language. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Akram, how do you encourage self-directed learning in your students?
In one of my project of student, I give them manual of engineering for them to learn English or language in their workshop.
Oh, this sounds practical.
That's good.
Mr. Fauzan, how do you take charge of your ESP learning?
I was business is related box and practice rise.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fauzan. Thank you.
And we are in fifth segment. Before we wrap up, let's discuss the challenges of ESP. Mr. Rifky,
Yes.
what are some common difficulties in ESP courses?
I like your question. So one big challenge is meeting diverse learner needs, and then some students want more technical content, while other needs general English skills.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna move to Mr. Akram. What about teaching materials?
Finding the balance is the trickiest point. Sometimes textbooks are too mundane and sometimes too advanced. So the customized for the student is the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Fauzan, what challenges did you face as an ESP learner?
Of course, business English felt very formal and difficult. But practicing with real business document helped a lot.
Okay,
Wow.
thank you.
simulation, AI driving language, tools, and virtual reality training, making learning more interactive.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And I will ask to Mr. Mike. You waited so long, right?
Yeah.
Because this is your second time to talk, to answer our questions. So, Mr. Mike, do you see any emerging trends?
Yes, voices is incorporated across the specific industry, such as aviation industry or many known as legal names.
So simple. Answer very clear.
So before we close this podcast, let's give a big applause for ourselves. Yeah, that's all for today's episode. A big thank you for our guests for sharing their insights.
Okay, thank you for the viewers. So don't forget to subscribe and share the video. Okay?
Okay, and especially thank you for the sponsor by Indah phone and also Cameron Bejo for the sponsor us. And join the Boys Podcast next time for another deep dive into the world of English education. Until then, keep learning and stay curious. That's all from us and see you next time.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi